The application of water below the soil surface by micro-irrigation emitters is known as SDI, subsurface drip irrigation. SDI offers many benefits to growers. Not only is it the most efficient system, but it increases crop yield and bottom-line results.
It's unbelievable what the drip tape's doing for us.
It's just an easy system to operate.
Our energy savings was probably cut by at least half to two-thirds, I would imagine.
In this 150 acres, we're irrigating 150 acres. It's wonderful.
In my opinion, it's the best way to go.
Corn growers benefit by using SDI. Total fertilizer use on corn is greater than any other crop grown in the United States. With SDI, growers can better manage their irrigation and apply nutrients directly to the root zone in a timely manner during the growing season when the crop needs it the most.
We can irrigate these fields quicker. It's a big advantage to where we're irrigating an entire field in a day as compared to a week to 10 days with furrow irrigation or 3 to 4 days with a pivot.
You're able to apply fertilizers when a crop needs it, and also an advantage I believe that SDI would have that a pivot wouldn't have is applying micronutrients. It's so much easier with an SDI system versus any other system out there.
Flood irrigation systems use at least 50% more water than an SDI system, while center pivot systems use 20 to 30% more water. But it's not just the water savings that appeal to corn growers. Labor and energy costs are greatly reduced as well.
Our energy cost is only like 35% of what we were using in the past as far as consumption. Water use, we're at 30% as compared to what we were before. So there's just absolutely no comparison.
It's just an easy system to operate.
Basically, you run out there, you push the button, turn it on, make sure everything's running, it's up to pressure, everything's going, you just turn around, come back.
With a pivot and gravity, you have a lot more maintenance issues, whereas an SDI system, it's basically maintenance free.
With SDI, growers don't have to compromise. Field size, shape, and topography are easy to accommodate. Growers can regain full use of their land and be more productive on the ground they own rather than having to buy new ground.
We probably picked up extra, probably 10, 12 acres where we went with a drip that we couldn't reach with the arc of the pivot, one thing or another.
On this farm was a 120 acre field with a pivot, and the pivot irrigated about 70 acres. So when we put in the new system this year, we picked up 50 acres that would have been dry land last year.
We have gained acres with SDI. You can irrigate the entire field. In this 150 acres, we're irrigating 150 acres.
Water runoff, evaporation, and deep percolation problems are solved with SDI. This subsequently reduces operating costs. SDI also has very little exposure to the weather, and therefore insurance costs are also reduced.
I think the quality of your crops are better because you have a lot more even water distribution compared to, pivots, you're going to have variance. Gravity, you have a huge variance from where your pipe is laid to the end of the field. So there's, to me, is a huge quality improvement.
If you're doing it properly, you don't have any moisture above ground. So if the ground stays dry on top, you're not going to get any weed germination or anything like that. That's kind of just a little extra benefit, I believe, too.
We could very possibly be into a situation where we're going to be regulated quite a bit more with water. The SDI systems fit that perfectly because we are using a lot less water and producing the same amount of crop.
Subsurface drip irrigation is quickly becoming the ideal irrigation system. SDI systems have a higher longevity rate than other irrigation systems, and when properly maintained, a well-designed drip system can last 20 years or more. The biggest benefit corn growers receive from an SDI system is their bottom-line results. Higher yields on the same ground, reduced labor, and water and energy conservation all play roles in their return on investment.
Everything that we were told was that it was going to be great as far as less water use and less energy use, and it has been every bit of that.
I would certainly recommend SDI to other corn growers. I think it's well worth taking the time to look at, and it's well worth the investment. It performs equally, if not as good or better than what pivot, and certainly a whole lot better than gravity irrigation.
In my opinion, it's the best way to go.
I would absolutely recommend SDI to other corn growers. There's no doubt about it.
Growers who want assurance that their corn is turning out the highest possible yields turn to SDI, the most efficient irrigation system.